Hi everybody, welcome to G4G here on YouTube. Today we are back in DC Legends and we're taking a look at the Poison Ivy Hero Challenge and just discussing a couple other things along the way. So, first thing I want to start off by saying is that I've already done some of today, so we're not going to be able to see the Hero Challenge in action, but this is where I am currently. I'm up, let's see how many nodes in we are. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm 9 nodes in. Wow, that is a lot. So I'm about halfway. I wish I could kind of see the details on future nodes to kind of plan things out a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, I could do this one right now. I've already burnt a lot of energy doing a few of these and even repeating them. So, as you can see here, like, that's a repeat. Well, that's actually the last one that I did just off camera. Or off recording, I guess I should say. And then I went back and speed ran some of the others over here. So, this is a very interesting hero event. What do you guys think about it? I think there might be a split camp on this. I can imagine some veterans going, dude, this bell curve is so, well, not really a bell curve, but this ramp up is so slow and it's killing my energy because there's so many nodes, and can I get to some of these high powered ones and get chunky amounts of fragments already? Or I can imagine the newbie camps, the new players, the mid-level players going, hey, this is pretty cool as shit. It's a very gradual curve. I can get further into it. So I can get a little bit more fragments than I normally would. So I can imagine that. I think, honestly, if you are a veteran where you've got a lot of legendary and 5-star characters, you're like, dude, this ramp is too slow. I can't get my dailies done. I'm like running out of energy trying to get Poison Ivy, and well, I have nothing left for like my daily stuff. Yeah, that could certainly be true if you only have the time to run it once in a day and can't get that like big recharge and do it again. But my opinion would be kind of along the lines of more the newbie, the common guy. I'm happy that I think this hero challenge works a little bit better for people, and especially the newer players, due to the fact that the curve is just a little bit less, so you can kind of get further in. Plus, once you get a decent way in, you can come back to these ones with the head, the thumbnail, and get a pretty good chunk of stuff. So there's 5 and there's 8 right there. And if you get up to the one that I did over here, for the first time it's going to be 13, and then there's probably going to be 6 maybe you'll get out of this node. Now the problem is, it's sort of a problem, sort of not. When I first did it, my Poison Ivy wasn't high enough, so she couldn't make the rank, which is fine because Huntress is actually better. But you get the bonus for Poison Ivy, so I'm interested. You guys tell me, because you know maybe better than me what the bonus for the marked hero is. Is it better to say use Huntress, which is nearly 2200, or Poison Ivy at nearly 1900, but with a bonus? Obviously, if she was on equal footing to Huntress, it would just be a matter of skills. And we all know Huntress is pretty good. Everybody recommends getting her high up in a legendary and everything, but how does this work out? Do you guys know what exactly the bonus is? So, like, if I were to do this right now, would you say go in with Huntress? Or would you say go in with Poison Ivy because she has the bonus? Poison Ivy kind of gives them a little bit of sustain because 6 men's, big heal and a cleanse, heal, big heal and a cleanse over here, but team heal, single heal. Whereas Huntress just kind of adds the raw DPS. So, I mean, obviously, we could have split decisions between sustain and raw DPS being better, but I'm curious about the bonus. That's what I want to know. So, that's what's going on right now in the Hero Challenge, and it's up for 4 more days. So, I kind of like this style. I feel it's more Spec Ops-ish than a lot of the other super short challenges where you have like a day, and if you don't have a time to do it after you recharge, you kind of miss out. And here, I'm not that thrilled that Samurai or Katana is going to be overlapping Poison Ivy by 2 days. Like, they're really, really trying to claim your energy here. The good thing is, you may be, I mean, in another week and a half, you can come around and get her a little bit more if you need to. But these two overlapping sort of bugs me because it's like, man, you are just really claiming all my energy over here. And, you know, I tend to be able to do it once a day, kind of at night, a little bit before I go to bed. Then I go to bed and I'm at work and I come home and I don't really have the chance to get this unless I know something is really drawing me back into it. I would consider this event really drawing me back into it, or devoting some energy to the Hero Challenge at night, recharging, and then before the flip, which is in 18 hours from now, so sometime in the next 18 hours coming back and doing the rest of my dailies. So I kind of went ham a little bit tonight and got the 12k gems, and it gave me with what I had just enough to go for Killer Frost and Zatana. I was having a tough decision making. I was like, do I go 8k for Zatana or do I go 8k for Killer Frost? Killer Frost is, excuse me, a little bit of a yawn there. Killer Frost is an unknown. She's a giant question mark. It would be nice to have her. It would be nice to have her, maybe use her for the hero challenges coming up. But, like, dude, Zatana. I mean, we all know how good she is right now. And, I mean, she's unparalleled as a healer right now. I mean, she's just so good at what she does, and you know, you go down stack deck a little bit and you're purging debuffs, and Hat Trick is purging buffs, and now for me tonight, you know, Hocus Pocus and Mistress of Magic, so now she can even be a leader for me, although under most circumstances Cyborg will be my leader, but we will talk about this. So, team leader. All allies have a 32% chance to gain 15% turn meter if they debuff an enemy. I mean, she's just an anchor. She has been an anchor from day one, and at least for me, and from what I see on other people, I think most would agree, she doesn't leave that spot. Like Wonder Woman for the pre-reg, she was an anchor for a lot of people, and then she kind of left. Cyborg was an anchor for a lot of people, probably the first hero that they like 5-starred and got a leader out of because his bios were easy to get. And Broccoli was very popular. Now I think Siren is an anchor for a lot of people, and I see it in PvP, and I hear it in discussions and everything like that. Green Lantern, I feel like he had his moments and he kind of faded, but people still push him. A lot of people talked about Chemo, but then they're like, God, he's so fucking slow. To me, Sinestro was very big in my beginning because of the AoE, and then the Enrage. It's like, oh, I don't want this person to heal or do an ability. Let me enrage them. Let me push that off for a bit. And then, you know, for me, Sinestro fell out. Harley Quinn was big for me. This one right here, Suicide. She fell out. Bane was kind of big for me for a little while. He fell out. This Deadshot was one of my highest characters for a long time. He's totally gotten backburnered on me. Um, and now this is kind of like the Never What Flash. A little bit. I mean, he was on my teams, but I wasn't like, yay, Flash, woohoo. You know, he was there because the game gave him to me. But Zatana, I mean, she's been from the beginning to the middle to where I am now in my DC career, and she just doesn't go anywhere because she's amazing at what she does. Yes, now we have Mira, and Mira can apply that heavy 6 mends, which is really, really good. And she can continually mend herself by her spammable hydrokinesis, which has no cooldown, so she's constantly mending herself. But Zatana has that huge AoE heal, and it gets rid of debuffs from you. So, you know, you see an enemy siren, and you're like, haha, screw your bleeds. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm gonna get 1,200, the 12,000 pack, excuse me, and I'm not gonna have to make a decision. I'm gonna get them both. I feel like the taco commercial. Why not both? And I had just enough to do it. And now I have 525 gems. But to be honest, I'm quite thrilled about it. So the next thing that we need to do is talk about PvP. So admittedly, like, I've got a guy in one of my groups that's like, do people fucking read? It was kind of being a little aggressive about it, both when he posted it and as a response to everybody. But we pushed a small amount of data this afternoon. So what that means is that their servers pushed out an update to the game. Because some people, it kind of baffles me that people ask about this, but I'm in IT, so I realize not everybody understands what does pushing data mean. What it means is that there was a version internally on their servers that they're like, okay, we're going to go live with this, and they shipped it out. It's not a major game update where you have to re-get it from, you know, either the Android store or the Apple store. It's that little bar that you get like when you load up the game. It's a tweak. And you know, MAA people were used to this because we never got like major versions. We were a Facebook game. We got patches and tweaks and everything. Mobile games sometimes have big updates like Marvel Future Fight where you re-get it from the store. By the way, if you know how to do this, and this is more common on Android than iOS, every now and then you want to delete this game, provided you're backing up your stuff, and especially Marvel Future Fight, to delete the cache data and then re-download it. Because sometimes it doesn't properly delete its old data, so the game gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then when you clear it, you just get what is pertinent, and you can at times drop several gigs of space. Again, I don't really know if that's so bad for DC, but if you are a Marvel Future Fight player, think about that. Like, clear the date, or just clear the data, and then log in, and you get only pertinent data. So, let us take a look at Poison Ivy and Killer Frost. So, here's my Poison Ivy. She's currently 3. She just dinged right before I started recording. I've bumped her up to 42. She's got a pretty decent amount of power. And I'm going to hold off on these for tomorrow for the daily. So my Snap Trap is at 3, and my Pheromone Kiss. Now, I could upgrade this one more level for the Taunt +1. However, I haven't yet found a use for it in the way that I want to go. So I'm holding off. I'm not spending yet, but I think I eventually will. Toxin Transfer, some people have complained, is it moving the debuff? And at first, like, I did it the first night, I was like, wow, it didn't do that. Huh. Then I saw somebody posting about it, and I was like, okay. And then today when I did it, it did. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I wanted to check to see if it said chance to move 3 debuffs. And it obviously doesn't. Maybe just the first day or so it was bugged, but I think this is now working the way that it should. When she gets up to rank 4, she copies 3 random buffs from an ally onto the rest of the team, which is Can you imagine if Mira put a 6 stack of mens on somebody and she copied 6 stacks of mens, if it goes that way, or 3 stacks of mens, if she just put a giant amount of mens on the whole team by copying that, I would orchestrate matches that way. I would have, like, no buffs out. That would be the first thing I would do on Mira, and then the next thing on Poison Ivy, I would try to cross-pollinate. I think that would be amazing. Shields would be the best thing to copy, but shields don't really count. So, but maybe, like, the strength up from Cyborg or something like that, or run a team with Chemo and get a speed up on somebody and try to copy it to Chemo to make him not a giant sludge pile of shit. I mean, I love his damage, I love his abilities, but let's be honest, he is fucking kludgy. I think there's potentially sick combos with this. And anaphylactic touch, passive ability, 50% chance to apply strength down to enemies that damage Poison Ivy, and of course the chances escalate. You know, guys, I said this in my last video, and I'll say it again. I'm beginning to get impressed with the characters in this game. I think that we are getting new and interesting stuff here, and I think they're beginning to allow us to use team-up brains a little bit and think of some really interesting teams and create crazy combos. Like, if you were an MAA player, like when Night America was released, and we're like, oh my god, so Night America's gonna do this buff on somebody. And like Night America and Hellcat, do you remember that? Where, or Black Cat, where Night America allowed Black Cat to stack her luck up like infinitely, and then she could one-shot the fucking planet with a nerve chop after that? Yeah, obviously that's a broken thing, but this game is beginning to get there, and I'm kind of getting excited about it. And I honestly do believe I'm getting more enjoyment out of this game lately. Also, yes, I'm getting some higher level heroes, which does do it, and I'm also gaining more heroes like Poison Ivy and Killer Frost. Grundy is new to me. This came from the Valentine's pack, or the April Fool's pack. And honestly, I would take this Joker in a heartbeat over this Joker any day. Visually, I'm not talking about the abilities. I hate this Joker. So, let's look at Killer Frost. So, supposedly, Caitlin Snow is actually a good guy. She has, like, a health vampire thing going on, and she has to leech heat from people. And I think it's kind of like a heat version of Dr. Morbius. Like, she has a hunger, but she's a good guy, so she's trying to do right by it, but there's still that burning, no pun intended, that burning hunger that needs to be satiated. So, yeah. Let's see, who was it that helped her out? Batman. Yeah, so Batman helped her out. Just remember Justice League and Suicide Squad. So, in a way, she reminds me of Morbius a little bit. But, Ice Spear, special damage to an enemy, 15% chance to stun the target if the target is stunned. So, basically, they could say, extend the duration of a stun. Free solid straight up stun, but then you can eventually get a speed down, which to me seems pretty sexy right there. Shatter, special damage to a target, apply 3 speed down and 50% of the target's max health as damage if the target is stunned. So perhaps she has a logical chain, and I don't know if it'll work out this way, but free solid stun. Ice Spear before their stun is up. keep them stunned again. When they're stunned now in the third round, shatter them while they are still stunned. Or free solid ice spear if the stun is done, have somebody else stun, like maybe Green Lantern, and then shatter them. Because, I mean, it sounds good to just not skip by Ice Spear. It's extra damage. So if the turn order works out of Freeze, Ice, Shatter over 3 rounds, I think that'd be pretty good. Heat Absorption. Killer Frost heals for 10% max health when an enemy is stunned. Just bring a stun team and have her just leech naturally. I think this would obviously be another good one to begin building up, but I think you need to have a stun comp in order to get value out of spending your stuff here. I definitely think Shatter for raw damage would be better. Free Solid for turn metering. See, this could be key. I think if you get the turn meter down enough and the speed down enough, you can Free Solid and then Ice Spear before their turn is up. Unless they get cleansed. That's where Zatana could be very handy. If they get cleansed ahead of time, then that's a different story. It's going to be interesting to use her. I think she has a little bit less synergy with people than some of the others. Like bleeders, we definitely have a lot of bleeders. We are definitely dealing with a lot of people that buff, debuff. So, okay. Now, let's talk about Zatana's leadership over here. I still believe I'm kind of going to go with Cyborg, but all allies have a 32% chance to gain 15% turn meter if debuffing an enemy. Boom. How amazing does that work out for Killer Frost? Because you're now pumping her with speed to hopefully get ahead of the enemy and keep them locked down and shatter them. The good thing is, despite her blue nature, Killer Frost is green. So, you're not overloading the blues in there. I think Zatana is an excellent lead for Killer Frost. Obviously, she is an excellent lead for Siren because of the bleeds. And if you are smarter than me, and you upgrade her Zebel Fury, she can bleed the entire team. So she daggers somebody, then Zebel Furies them, and not only does she do AoE damage, but she spreads the bleeds. That is a nice combo for Zatana. Chemo, obviously he works with debuffs. Cheetah works with debuffs. Aquaman has got bleeds. The Enrage should count as a debuff over there. She debuffs herself with the intelligence down. I don't think she's got anything. Oh, here's another one. I wonder... Okay, so we know Poison Ivy can copy buffs from one person to the rest of the team. How about this? Where is it? Wasn't there heavy damage per... Okay, gain taunt, 30% chance to gain debuff immunity. How about copying the debuff immunity? How fucking crazy would that be as a combo? How about Aquaman? And looking at I Am Your King. Crit immunity and death immunity. So, if he applies death immunity to somebody because he has the mending, what if that gets copied and all of a sudden your team for one round is death immune? The possibilities are kind of going nuts when you think about it with Poison Ivy over there and her cross-pollination. There is, I think, a lot of crazy combos that might be overpowered if people begin to realize them and go for it. What happens if everybody has a buff, like strength, 2 strengths up here, and she copies it? Did they all get another 2 and now everybody's up to 4 or more? That's another one to think about. Shields, yeah, we know shields aren't really going to count, and you can't debuff a shield or anything, but hard light with the agility, a chance to get agility on people, and then she copies it. To me, I think one of the best things would be speed. If you have people that have a speed up like Cyborg, and then copying it into slow kludgy fucks like Chemo. Team Sport, passive ability, 16 chance. So, overclock. 3 speeds up, chance of gaining a strength up. Imagine copying 3 speeds from Cyborg to everybody. I mean, your team would be like Spider-Man level at that point. So, you know, kudos to DC. If you take the money aspect of it aside and the PvP side, which I'm going to talk about next, I like at least what they're doing with the heroes and the abilities. I think there is some thought in there. I'm impressed and I'm happy. For the money side of it, yes, they are trying to rake you over the coals for the money. The big thing with PvP is everybody has started the season down further than they should be. I normally start in the thousands because I don't push. I don't care. I don't even care about the bar. Like, hi, Ben Affleck. Sorry. But I was like, I did a battle yesterday, and I was like, 900 versus 1,000? Huh? And I went to my battle log. I was like, have I been getting my ass kicked and I don't know about it? And I was like, no. This isn't too bad. So, yeah, they just started everybody low. No, no, God. No, don't hit the button. Okay. I want it. Yeah. So, I mean, there were people at like 2,100 dipping down to 15. 15 people dipping down to 12. People are going, did anybody start higher than 12? There has been something going on. And now, oh, this is going to be fun. You know, there was that communication that said blah, 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 and all this other stuff, but they said, oh, we're doing this to be more fair. Like, more fair to who? Like, what are you fixing? You know what? I'm just going to even do this one on autopilot. I don't understand. So, some people were like, yeah, I let the AI do it because the AI tends to do things better than me, and I like watching the AI. I'm like, my AI is stupid. Sometimes, like, Siren just did the AoE without any bleeds out. He just did his level 2 with the high chance to miss without doing the level 1. So, I don't believe that you should trust the AI over yourself. I think you have to be pretty bad at this game to be like, oh yeah, the AI is better than me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult anybody, but you're seeing it right here. You saw the proof. There was a lot of dumb AI stuff over there, especially on Cyborg. So, how do you guys feel about the PvP thing? I don't like that I was dropped so ridiculously far. I don't understand the point of it. And I'm not, like, raging over it. I'm not upset because I don't care about PvP in this game. I kind of do it just to get the triangles. And I want to build up towards 1,000 and cash out for the 1,000 pack. But I would imagine a lot of people who give a shit about PvP in this game going, dude, it's like you knocked me down from diamond to bronze. What's the point? So I'll just do this last PvP over here and wrap up the video. They got strengthened, so I definitely want to do a taunt. I will buff him. I don't know that I want to remove... No. Let's just smack him down a little more. You don't see Batman too much in PvP. He's gonna bleed. You know what? Yeah, we'll do this. We'll AoE. See, am I enraged? No, I'm silenced. No, but I could still... Wow, silenced? Fuck you. I think there are some amazing teams you could build around Zatana's leadership with the transference of the buffs. And... I mean, even here with Broccoli... Let's not forget, Broccoli has damage immunity. What happens if you do damage immunity on somebody who just took a turn and then Poison Ivy tried to copy it? It just... 4-player invincibility. How crazy could that potentially be? I wonder if they're going to set limits on that. I really do, because some of them just seem potentially overpowered. Especially the AoE nature of it. If it copied buffs from one player to a random other player, then that you might be like, yeah, okay, that's not too bad. But to the whole team, crazy. I'd like to see somebody copy debuffs from an enemy to the enemy team. How nice would it be to have 4 or 5 bleeds on somebody and copy it? Be like a Clive Barker movie. Alright, folks, well, there is my DC Legends video. No, I'm not going over to the dark side from Marvel. I still like the Marvel Universe better. However, the trailers and the footage for Injustice 2 are tempting me. It does look like it could be a fun game. And I may perhaps order it for my birthday as a birthday gift from somebody. But this game is... I will tip my hat to the people at least designing the characters in the game. I think they are doing interesting stuff with it, and it makes me happy, and it makes me want to play it a little bit more. Kind of hard to take over for MFF. These are both time-hungry and attention-hungry games if you dive into them equally and at heavy measure. But yeah, I admit the game is becoming a little bit more fun. I'm getting close to that 1,000 pack, so take care, everybody. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And of course, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace out, everybody.